Kessie thought, okay, let's be having it. See if I can pull off the bicycle kick or overhead kick. And not on that occasion. Kung Fu-like, but he hasn't hit his target.
Bakayoko. Rolling it through here from Kessie. Allison stood his ground. A natural scorer surely scores.
Probably. I mean, Kessie has been more ambitious in trying to make that run in the second half, but Allison does that time and time again. He spread himself really well.
Florenzi's give and go. Tsimikas with wiry strength. Bakayoko. Tamori. Bakayoko. Sturdy challenge from Phillips just outside the penalty area.
There is a little touch on the ball from Phillips, but I think the referee felt because of that there was much more on Hernandez. And you'll have to agree, and this is a little slip ball, which is lovely to set Kessie away. He hesitated, didn't he, momentarily? He just waited. If he had dinked it or made his mind up earlier, he could have perhaps squeezed it past Allison, and their hopes very quickly faded.
Well, on the weekend, didn't he, from Kessie, which was his first non-penalty goal of the season. He scored then. Who knows what craziness could have followed. He's hurling himself at another header, diverting it the wrong side.
And look at Romagnoli, his skipper, just behind him, thinking that if only he told them to let it go, because Romagnoli felt he was in the perfect position to hit the target.
He has actually in recent years quite frequently been linked with Liverpool from Kessie.
Yeah, he's made the motion as well, Romagnoli, as if Kessie wasn't going to get there.
Kessie. Sifted through by Oxlade-Chamberlain, pursued by Williams. Romagnoli's not quite sure. Fabinho.
I think irrespective of whether Milan get a goal now, Peter, I think Jurgen Klopp will be quite proud of what he's seen.
Through by Messias, taken up by Kessie, who went over Konate.
Ball played. There's no big appeal. Look, Kessie knows. And he's just applauded the little feed that got him through. But that's another lovely little touch from Konate, who's been very solid. He's read the game really well tonight, and he's always been in the right position.
And for Milan, almost certainly now the game is up, because Atletico have got into a 2-0 lead, 10 against 10 in Porto. Correa with the second goal for Atletico, who are headed for the last 16 after what by their standards has been a ragged, uncertain group phase. They have got away with it, and they will follow Liverpool through, barring some sort of ridiculous turnover in the last couple of minutes of either game. Simeone has found a way, as he tends to. So Milan here, essentially raging against the fading light. There's not a great deal they could do. Benacer plays it in. Konate's header out. Fetched by Salamakers. Now Liverpool can begin a counter with Minamino, who's asked an awful lot of Nico Williams here. Young and keen though he is.
Florenzi still showing an urgent attitude in the hope that something can be rescued.
Tramori. Benacer. Yoko is in control.
That's why he's on.
Did you get the feeling that Milan never quite believed this was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, that entered my head a short time ago, that the belief, the cohesion in the team wasn't quite there to take on a club like Liverpool. I don't think maybe it's psychologically that night at Anfield, and maybe it's kind of just gotten through. They've absorbed it a bit too much, but I don't think they were courageous enough tonight in Milan. And I'm disappointed in that, and here come more of the kids.
And just to say, there's a Spanish party in Portugal. Rodrigo de Paul has scored a third goal for Atletico in Porto in that Iberian clash. So Atletico 3-0 up, and certainly going through whatever Liverpool and their recently introduced youngsters now do or don't do.
Luis Suarez may not still be crying.
Here's Naby Keita. And here is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to hoist it over the crossbar and take a hit.
Yeah, it was Hernandez and indeed the goalkeeper, Maignan, but it was brilliant work from Williams to begin with in just taking it away from Theo Hernandez, who was set on trying to rescue things and make up for that. He tried to get his leg round, maybe he did get something on it. No, he didn't. It was just bouncing, and Oxlade-Chamberlain got underneath.
So these two young lads are Max Waltzman wearing number 82 and Connor Bradley wearing 84. Both of them 18 years old. Waltman is an attacking midfield player, striker, who's been scoring goals aplenty actually in the UEFA Youth League. He did score the only goal of Liverpool's home game against Milan on match day 1 in that competition. He's since scored against Atletico and Porto, and is a regular scorer too in the domestic under-23 competition. Connor Bradley, a Northern Irish international right full back, and he is capped, senior cap in that position by Northern Ireland. He played the full 90 of a League Cup tie at Norwich in September, the last half hour plus in Preston in the same competition. And he's going to get a little chance now in the Champions League. Came over from Dungannon United in September of 2019. Good luck to him. Good luck to them both. A pair of 18-year-olds living the dream. San Siro, 18.
Living the dream. It's past bedtime. I mean, it's been the perfect night for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. And this is a lovely moment for these youngsters to flavour some of this. Ever played at San Siro?
Wonderful privilege for them. Williams gives way, Minamino gives way. There's nothing left on the game. That needn't matter. Connor Bradley and Max Waltman would love to have a touch of the ball. Whether or not that occurs, they can say that they crossed the white line in the Champions League at the San Siro for Liverpool against Milan. That is wow for any normal mortal. What if they played in the team that scored here? So Chamberlain has fallen on the ball. He was awarding himself a free kick. It's a free kick against him. Tomori's a bit worked up.
He was. Benassa didn't foul. Ibrahimovic away by Fabinho.
Lynch. Moved on by Romagnoli. It's a good block by Gomez.
Claiming handball very briefly, but Salem Ranked has got to get on with it.
Hernandez.
I think Liverpool deserved the win, Peter. They were very professional and extremely assured.
That was a touch for Conor Bradley at right back.
It was the handball appeal. As you can see, it was nowhere near the arm of Gomez and caught him on the inner thigh.
For Milan, as it turns out, it was little more than a pipe dream. Truth be told, it wasn't especially close to happening. Jurgen Klopp has good reason to smile because Liverpool are perfect. Played 6, won 6. The first English club ever to achieve perfection in the Champions League. They trailed to Tomori, Salah equalised, Origi won it in the second half. Milan are out of Europe and Liverpool march on. In San Siro, Milan 1, Liverpool 2.
Well, the away fans will be glad that they travelled for this one. Atletico came into this game needing so much to go their way this evening. It has done against all odds. They do it again, Alex. Just incredible to see them pull out this result.
You have to give them the total credit and respect that they deserve to go from bottom of the group to find a way to win this game, Atletico Madrid. And Porto, they just fell to pieces, Kate. Absolutely collapsed and actually played into Atletico, knew their game plan, got into their heads, and they absolutely couldn't handle it. And just as the second half went on, you could see every single Porto player didn't know what to do, didn't know how to react. And Jamie, we spoke about certain players.
I thought we mentioned it at half-time, didn't we?
We did.
What meant to happen. They're the masters at it. We mentioned before the game about certain players not being suited to their system. This is obviously Conceição. With his Porto team, obviously they've got other things that they've now got to fight for. It's not the end of the season, but it must be a big blow for them how they lost it, and it was ill-discipline. Atletico went down to 10 men at a vital time, and from there you'd think Porto were the favourites then to get back into the game and just get that draw was what they needed. It wasn't enough. Atletico, they just suck you in, they draw you in to play their type of game. There's fighting, there's arguing, there's all sorts going on the pitch, and they end up getting involved, and I'm sure that's something certainly he's mentioning now in a lesson for that Porto team. But Atletico Madrid, they don't play the way we associate with the top teams in Europe now. But in some ways I like that. I don't like every team to play the same. They have their way of doing things, and we saw before the game how successful this manager has been at doing that, and that is a massive result for him. You see him again now.
He's one of the best, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's one of the best. We've seen his stats before the game as well, what he's done at that club. He's been excellent. You can just see in Conceição's face there, his devastation. You see him being sarcastic as well when they got the penalty. He feels hard done by tonight, but we've got to give credit to Atletico. Like Alex says, start bottom of the group and go through. And teams will be looking at that draw now, who will win their groups. You don't want to be playing Atletico Madrid.
Would you happy if City got them?
No, I wouldn't be happy at all, because I think they're defensively, when they want to be going to Atletico as well, be a horrible place to play. They've got a great manager, and yeah, they've not been the best this season, but you know they can pull out a result from somewhere because they've got the players to do it, and they've got a philosophy that they stick to. So yeah, I wouldn't want to play Atletico.
It's obviously a bitter night for Porto to lose at home in this fashion against Atletico Madrid and to miss out on going through on to the Champions League round of 16. But as you saw there on the table that just flashed up, you did see that they finished in third place. So they do get the Europa League then as the rest of the season continues, Jamie. So as you said, the season isn't over, and it isn't even over in Europe. That's not the case for AC Milan, who didn't manage to get the result tonight against Liverpool and now find themselves on the outside looking in. It was kind of a celebration of their return to European football. We hadn't seen them in the Champions League for a minute, and this will be a disappointing night for them, Jamie.
Really poor. Liverpool deserved to win, but the shadow team playing really, it was a really poor performance. I know they're all sat on the pitch now really gutted, devastated, they missed out on the Champions League, but they didn't deserve it. They didn't do enough. I was so disappointed with them. Obviously we had a build-up you know, before the games kicked off, with, you know, how, or certainly where Serie A stands now in terms of, you know, the top leagues, and the distance between the two teams on that show and tonight, it was night and day in terms of where Liverpool are.
Team as well.
Exactly. I mean, Milan was so poor. It was like watching an over-the-hill team, an over-35 team, you know, playing against a modern, energetic team. It was just so slow, didn't have any energy or intensity. And I mean, sometimes you lose a game, but to lose in that manner, I think it was really poor. And as I said, we spoke about Serie A before the game, and this is the top team in Serie A right now. They had to deliver more than that.
Jenny said it, didn't she? Okay.
Passive.
Yeah. That they were passive, what she was seeing out there. I know she was talking about the atmosphere and everything, but when it comes to the football, she called it.
Were you surprised, Micah, by how little you saw from AC Milan in that game?
Not really, because it's how good Liverpool are. Liverpool, I was saying to Jamie before, I think that they're back to their best, no matter who comes in. Origi scores the winner at the weekend and then comes in and scores a great goal tonight as well. And they've just got that confidence, they've got belief. They've got youngsters coming to the squad now as well, so...
That Jamie used to watch when they were...
Yes.
Say?
No, I did. So, a lad came on there for the last minute called Max Waltman. I know his family really well. I've just texted his dad. Someone just texted me back. Let's get the text. Yes. I texted him before the game. Brilliant when I saw the team sheet. And when he's come on, wow, delighted for you and the family. Can't believe it. Wow, thank you. So that's his dad. So I was telling the truth.
It's amazing.
I didn't believe you. I said it's nice that he come on and you know him.
My son was at Liverpool at... they go in really young now, age 6, so they go in. So I've watched that group of players. There was another lad on the bench, James Norris, he never come on. So I've seen them come right through this sort of system. And they're at that age now, 18 and 19, where they had to, you know, make their name in the game. But I thought Tyler Morton was outstanding in midfield. He was fantastic. A teenage player playing for Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in European football, at your hometown club in the San Siro. The San Siro is one of those... I mean, I played there only once when I was in my late 20s, and for me it was like, this is amazing, this is unbelievable. He's only 18 and 19, and to play in a game where they've won, not just play, putting the performance he did, I think was... I'm delighted for them, and as I said, you know, the family and what the mothers and fathers will think, but for Jurgen Klopp as well, giving those lads a chance, he really does give them a go.
So special. Very warm welcome to you, by the way, if you've been watching the Golasso show with Nico Cantor, Mo Adu, Freddie Lundberg. Fantastic to have your company with us here as well. We're going to break down all of the action from the evening. Just, we're in the middle here of talking about AC Milan and Liverpool, the game there that Liverpool won 2-1 in Italy. I think what's also interesting is to see Jurgen Klopp, the way he celebrated that. We already knew that they had, you know, they'd won the first 5 match days. They were clear winners of the group. They were always going through in top spot. But his celebrations were emphatic. It was almost as if it was a big result for them, where it wasn't really. It didn't even matter how the game ended.
No, it didn't, but I really admire that. You know, that competitive spirit. We know that he's got that. But I also think the fact that when Liverpool go into Europe, I would say that's what Liverpool are probably most famous for. You know, around Europe, around world football, of, you know, what they've done in the Champions League. So I think there's always that feeling at the club that we're representing Liverpool in the European Cup. This is what we do. And we never want to go into a game where we disrespect the competition, we disrespect not so much the opposition you're playing against, but the other game, you know, in terms of Atletico Madrid and Porto. So maybe one of the reasons why Salah and Sadio Mane were playing. And Liverpool don't have the revenue of maybe a Manchester City or a Chelsea. So the revenue within the Champions League, even for winning tonight, it'll be like £2 or £3 million just for winning that game. So Jurgen Klopp mentioned that when Liverpool had already qualified after game 4, and people said, well, you just, you know, play the reserves now. And he actually mentioned the financial impact of, you know, just winning games in the Champions League. So that was definitely something at the back of his mind as well.
I think as well, you know, when you're saying about, yeah, like, it doesn't matter, but I think when you're building a culture and you're building youngsters coming through and everything, it does matter. Like, that winning mentality of every game, no matter what, you have to put on a performance, standards matter, and every single game, that's how you create that culture of youngsters coming through and having that mentality.
Well, listen, there's so much to break down for you tonight. Real Madrid got a win that means that they go through top of their group as well. Big celebrations for Real Madrid. It was a battle between Real and Inter Milan to see who would take top spot in that Group D. Real have got it done. Inter Milan go through in second. That was already clear. Sheriff wrapping up the third spot in that one. We'll talk to you about that. We've got other action to wrap up as well. It was a good night for Madrid in general. In fact, Atletico and Real play each other this weekend, by the way. That's going to be a cracking fixture, but Atletico have got the job done and put Porto into the Europa League. Atletico going through to the next round. AC Milan have had a disappointing night. They are out of Europe entirely. We'll bring you all of the action, all the highlights, all the analysis next. This match was brought to you by Pepsi. And Heineken, UEFA Champions League official sponsors.